Hi, everyone. It's great to be here at Web 2.0. It's actually the first time that American Express has really had a major presence at Web 2.0, and it is because we are moving very strongly into the digital payment space, and we see a lot of exciting changes happening. I'm here today to talk just briefly about some of those really quite radical changes we see happening in digital payments. Let me start by just setting the context very briefly. I'm sure familiar to people here, but what are the drivers for digital payments that are changing the landscape? The first is simply mobile penetration, and not just to feature phones, smartphones, and everyone has their own factoid around just how fast mobile phones have penetrated the world, not just the US. My favorite is the fact there are far more phones than there are toothbrushes in the world today. That is a revolution in not just communication, but in transactions and payments, potentially as we look ahead. Second change related to that, obviously, is the fact that it is 3G and 4G rollouts that are happening, again, not just in developed markets like the US and Europe, but around the world in emerging markets, India and China as well, getting very rapid data wireless speeds, which enables a much richer set of payments and commerce capabilities to be deployed. The next driver really is around social networking, and it clearly has become ubiquitous, as everyone knows. I mean, I think when your teenage daughter says she has 1,500 friends and when pushed, actually acknowledges maybe only 500 are close friends, it's pretty widespread. It is also, though, starting to get into the world of payments and commerce, because now people are starting to leverage the feedback from their social network to inform their buying decisions, inform how they transact, rather than relying on the algorithms from Google and Netflix as to what they should buy next. So social networking is going to be a major force, and the interaction between social identity and commercial identity is a major trend that we're going to see evolve over the next couple of years. The final drive, I think, really is just the new technologies that are emerging. You have NFC as probably the one that everyone is most focused on, obviously, and there are many, many pilots springing up around the world to deploy NFC in new ways. It isn't mainstream yet, and there are different opinions as to how fast it will roll out in different markets, but clearly it is coming. And that has the potential not just to change payments in a very significant way. And I think this is a key thing from my perspective. It's not about the tap to make the payment that's important. It is actually NFC enables the retail experience to become an interactive experience, not a transactional experience. You get a rich data overlay through the NFC-enabled phone that changes the whole experience. So if those are the drivers that really set the stage, and there is going to be a digital revolution, I think everyone agrees that's coming. It's just a question of how fast it's going to come. The one lesson we can draw from other industries like music and newspapers is that usually that change comes far faster than the incumbents expect, and also actually many incumbents don't survive the transition. So let me talk quickly about what does this digital future need to deliver. First, for consumers. Consumers, it's got to deliver convenience. First and foremost, it's got to be convenient, it's got to be seamless, it's got to be incredibly easy. It's also got to have security. And this is a major change for consumers. People have to trust the security. It really, overall, just has to be a better way of doing things for your consumer as you go about your daily life. For merchants, it's a little more complex and a richer set of issues. I think for merchants, clearly merchants are going to continue to push for better economics in terms of payments and reduce costs to them for transactions. But they obviously want speed, they want reliability. They want to deliver the right experience to their customers when they're in the store. But actually, far more importantly for merchants is the issue of marketing and promotion. And with digital payments, the promise is there that the rich data can actually fuel a whole new approach to marketing and promotion. Right now, in the US alone, there's $350 to $400 billion spent on marketing and promotion. The old cliche that most merchants would agree with is, I know half my marketing dollars are wasted, I just don't know which half. And the challenge is, can we, with digital payments, really enable the insight from that rich data to drive very targeted, intelligent, personalized promotions and marketing? These are true, I think, across the world. whichever market you're looking at. The one thing I would highlight quickly is that I think emerging markets are going to see particularly rapid growth in digital payments and commerce, and that is for two reasons. When you look at countries like India, China, and Brazil, they really don't have the infrastructure in place today for point of sale that developed markets do, which makes it easier to leapfrog into digital. And so I think that's one driver. The second is that the governments in these countries are really pushing hard for the electronification of cash. Because for them, if you can move people away from a cash economy and drive financial inclusion, that also drives social inclusion. So those markets in particular are a focus for us, and I think they are for other players in this industry. This isn't going to be easy, though. I mean, there are real barriers to getting people to change their behavior. For consumers, certainly all of us, over the last 50 years, the magnetic stripe and the plastic card has been just the ubiquitous technology and way in which we transact. That behavior is incredibly deeply ingrained. You've got to make it incredibly clear to consumers why they should shift. For merchants are going to be very concerned about operational disruption. They've got major sunk costs in the current point-of-sale infrastructure. They are very concerned about new technologies that may not be proven, may not be reliable, and may cause disruption on the shop floor in the retail experience. So let me offer some quick thoughts as to the drivers for success in shaping digital payments going forward. I think there are a number. First of all, let's just be clear, it's about scale. This is a scale business, and to get scale, you've got to get into a virtuous circle, because the greater scale you have, the easier it is to persuade new customers and new merchants to adopt your payments platform. So scale also drives the economics. You really get to good margins only when you have scale. And most importantly, scale is when you really get the rich data that is going to drive this new approach to marketing and promotion. But within this, there are 5 key drivers to success, I think, that we're focused on. The first, and this is by far and away the most important, is you've got to bridge online and offline. You have to work in the world it is today. You have to provide a platform that really works in the world as it is today, and also a platform that works in the digital future. So that means what we're seeing is that with mobile rollout, with NFC, all of these things are increasingly blurring the distinction between online and offline. You've got to have a platform today that does both and is able to flex and adapt with new technologies. Secondly is you have to be open. Part of getting to scale is you've got to provide openness and flexibility to consumers. And that's 2 primary things. One is around funding. You have to provide a digital payments platform that allows customers to fund it, and you draw on money that may be cash, maybe from a bank account, ACH, maybe debit, maybe credit. You've got to provide that flexibility. You've also got to provide the flexibility of different form factors and understand consumers transact in different places at different times. Sometimes it'll be on a laptop, a PC, sometimes on their phone. Sometimes today, it's at a retail point-of-sale terminal, the same magnetic stripe that's been around for years. You've got to cover all of the bases to drive openness and adoption. Thirdly, this is a complex ecosystem, and it's a fundamental shift we're talking about in the digital economy as payments become digitized. You're going to have to do it with partners. No one player is going to be able to drive this alone. It is going to be working with other partners to drive scale. And your platform has got to be flexible enough to adapt and integrate in a very seamless way with your partners. Fourth one is security. And security's got sort of 2 faces to it that are really quite different. Security, technical security, and your system standards have to be the highest order. If you, as soon as you have a breach, your history. That won't be forgotten. But very importantly, it's more than that. This is really about, does your organization have the permission to work in this space? Is it trusted? Will consumers and merchants trust you with their money, but also with their most sensitive data? So you have to have the brand and the reputation and be respected to play in that space. And also you have to deliver on the experience. This is not just the online customer experience, the very seamless one-click checkout type of capability. That's absolutely essential in this world. But also you have to be able to deliver true real-world customer service. Inevitably, things do go wrong. Transactions fail. There are issues that arise. And when that happens, this is people's money. This is their most sensitive information. They want to get the issues resolved quickly. That means you've got to deliver service. So I think this is where the digital players moving to the space come from a software mindset rather than a service mindset. There is a new challenges to be overcome. I'm really delighted to be here today talking about this as we've just launched our Serve platform, and I don't have time to go into details on that, but what I would just highlight quickly is I think it holds true against all of these 5 criteria that I've touched on this afternoon. It also, again, most importantly, it is something that works online and offline. It works in the world as it is today, but it has the ability to evolve as technologies evolve and people adopt them. It can be used at millions and millions of merchants in the offline world as well as the online world. That is today, and it's in the market. Great thing is, you can do everything you want to do with it. So you can actually buy your coffee and bagel down the road in the morning. You can buy your book online. You can share the bill for lunch with a friend on your phone real time. You can actually pay your after-school babysitter on your phone again, real time. She needs to stay later. But again, the key is you can use it in millions and millions of retail locations in the real world. So we're very excited about it. I think clearly this is a 1.0 release. We're going to evolve it very rapidly as we move forward and learn from the market. This is a market that is white hot right now. There are very few players who are really in the market right now. There are a lot of players who are talking about it and doing pilots and laying plans for how they will deploy digital payments. And we're going to see a lot of people move in. The large digital players clearly are going to move in. Facebook's and Google's clearly declared their intent to move into payments, not for payments itself, but to get to the data. Clearly, the large financial services companies and payments companies are going to be fighting to be dominant and maintain a strong position in the digital world. I think it'll be a challenge for different players as they come into it, come from different places. And also, there are many, many startups who have great solutions for different payment applications. There's going to be a lot of news coming up, both from us and many others, in the coming months for sure. Very hard to predict exactly how this will play out, but great to be here. And certainly we're committed to being one of the leading players in shaping the digital payments going forward. Thank you.